Welcome back to Real Life Recaps. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today there are two new Reddit stories, and they both have updates. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Today's first story was posted by Nova. Do I come clean now or after the wedding? 35 female and 35 male. We have been together almost 15 months. My relationship started with a pretty big lie, and I'm not sure how to deal with it. I dealt with years of infertility. I never thought I would become a mother. I am in my 30s. My sister is also in her 30s and gay. She was SA'd and became pregnant. When she discovered she was pregnant, she was already in her second trimester, and she did not want to terminate the pregnancy. We were abused as children, and there's a lot of abuse in our family. My sister did not want to explain what had happened. Our family is spread out and not in the same area. Long story short, we told everyone the child was mine. Fast forward. I met someone and it's the best relationship I've ever been in. I assumed I would never find love. I'm not conventionally attractive. I'm not smart. I'm not wealthy. I've met a genuinely great guy who comes from a really nice family. I'm pretty sure he is going to propose. He thinks I gave birth to my child. I told him that I can't conceive naturally and that I had to use donor sperm. I feel badly for keeping this from him. My own mother thinks that I gave birth to this child. I'm not sure how to handle this. Do I tell him now? Or do I wait until we're married? And now, on to the comments. Comment 1. Do not wait until you are married. I do not believe that partners need to know everything, but they should know the big stuff. If he finds out after marriage, he will be hurt. Maybe so hurt that it ruins the relationship. Comment 2. I would add that you should have a conversation with your sister. Your fiancé may have other feelings, opinions about this. If your sister has never disclosed her SA to anyone, including family, and it's a critical piece of the puzzle here, she definitely deserves a heads up and a chance to set boundaries. Reasonable ones like, I understand you need to tell your future husband this, but please ensure he will use discretion with your child, our family, and me, most of all. I'm sure this isn't a topic your sister wants to discuss with him herself, and would likely want to stipulate he not ever bring it up with her. Or perhaps she'd be open to it, but it's important to talk about it beforehand. Not saying you should ask her permission. I'd tell her that because you are now starting a family with him, you feel you need to be honest about this with him, and let her know you want to make sure she is comfortable with him and your family after the fact, and also felt that she should know you are sharing this with him before you do. You can be compassionate toward her without leaving an opening for her to not allow this. You can also give her agency on whether or not she wants to be part of that conversation at any point, or if she wants it to be just between you and your husband. I feel like many people would have a natural reaction to either discuss with your sister and/or may have some unconscious behavior changes toward her following this news. She deserves to be made aware. I'd also expect fiancé to have questions about whether or not SES ever wants to reveal her parenthood to this child down the line, and that's a conversation that should also be revisited with your sister prior to your telling him. Be compassionate but firm. Fiancé deserves to know, and sis deserves to set reasonable boundaries about this as well under the circumstances. Also be ready for the fiancé to want to tell his immediate family, parents or siblings, a best friend depending on his relationships and who he confides in, for support, and to work through his own feelings digesting this news. That will be something for you all to navigate as well as works best for you. Comment 3. Yeah, I think this is the best advice. I know they're not engaged yet, but if she thinks it's likely he will propose, then he needs to know. I think the biggest part is that he may think she is able to have children and want some of his own. That can be a deal breaker for some guys. I think what she did is absolutely great, because there are a lot of people who couldn't raise a child that is not their own. She stepped up and basically promised to love and raise a child she did not give birth to. That takes a lot of strength and compassion, and in my opinion says a lot about her character that I would think would only make him love her more. But he may desperately want to have children that are his own flesh and blood. So he deserves to know that it's not a possibility. But definitely the sister should be given advance warning. It's not something that should be kept secret from someone you're considering sharing your life with. I'd hope that he would understand the reason for the secrecy and not consider it a violation that she lied about it. Because honestly, how could she portray the child as hers without saying she could have children in some manner, even if it's not the traditional way? Until she knew the relationship was going to go further, then he really didn't need to know the details, but now that it's a possibility, he has the right to know the truth before marriage. OP added, "Sorry that I wasn't clear. The doctor said IVF was my best bet because I do not ovulate. When I tried to get pregnant with a previous partner, I ovulated twice in 1 year." Edit. Thanks everyone for your feedback and advice. I'm going to tell him soon. I just need to figure out when and how. I'm going to take someone's suggestion and write everything in a letter and take that with me to collect my thoughts. I'll be back when there is something to share. Responding to everyone and talking about my sister's trauma has brought on some anxiety. It took a lot for me to post because I am afraid of saying too much and doxing myself. To clear up a few things, I had a partner in my late 20s and we tried to have a child. I'm not sure where the idea came from that I just went through fertility treatments without trying. I was put on Clomid, and I had a procedure done where they put dye through your tubes to check for blockage because of an illness I had when I was young. I was then told my best bet was IVF, the birth certificate. My sister was put on the very first one, but that basically doesn't exist because it's sealed. I was issued one a few months after the baby's birth. My name is the only one on the child's official birth certificate. The baby was born early and spent a few weeks in the NICU because she had the baby unexpectedly because of high blood pressure and fluid in the lungs. We didn't have all of our paperwork finished. My sister was living with me, so the baby was able to come home with us. The hospital said if she hadn't been living with me, they wouldn't have released him to me. I got a lawyer, and the court gave us a guardian ad litem. A home study was done, and the guardian ad litem drilled us. We were honest about why the original birth certificate didn't have the father's name written down. The court ran an ad in the newspaper for several weeks. When no father stepped up to contest the adoption, it was allowed to proceed. I think I've answered everyone else's questions. The second story was posted by Throw RAA Friesens. My 18 female boyfriend, 21. Male keeps telling his friends about something we did in the bedroom, and it's making me uncomfortable. I've been dating my boyfriend for about 5 months now. I've dated before, but this is my first serious relationship. Recently, he's been asking me to try new things in the bedroom that I wasn't really sure about, but I trusted him. Last week, he suggested something a little different. I won't go into specifics, but it was a little wild for me. I said yes because I thought it might be fun. It wasn't bad, but I mostly did it because I knew it would make him happy. Since then, he's been talking about it with his friends. Like every time I'm with him and one of his friends calls or comes over, I catch him casually mentioning it. Yesterday, I got up the nerve to ask him to stop. I told him it made me feel really exposed. Like they now know these intimate details about me that I never wanted to share. He said he understood and promised he'd stop talking about it, but later that day he was telling his cousin. I brought it up again this morning and tried to explain how uncomfortable and embarrassed I feel, knowing that his friends and now his cousin know what I do in bed. He got kind of defensive and told me I was overreacting and that I need to loosen up because all guys talk about this stuff with their friends. I honestly don't know if that's true or not, but it feels so wrong to me. I feel ashamed and kind of violated that he's sharing things I thought were just between us. And I now regret even saying yes and doing it in the first place. Normal for some guys to talk like this about their girlfriends in front of them? Edit. Forgot to mention that his friends have been teasing me about it, and that's why I feel even more ashamed. I just wanted to keep the post as short as possible. And now, on to the comments. Comment 1. I'd tell him if he's going to keep talking about my sex life, then I won't have it. Comment 2. She already said stop after he dang near told everyone, and he kept telling people anyway, so they're past that. I'd leave at this point, and I'm a guy. Comment 3, right? He sounds like a real F-stick, one that was probably very lucky to land a girl in the first place. His friends all sound equally mature. Ditch the lot of them. OP can do way better. Comment 4. Somewhat curious what he was bragging about. Hey, bro, it's been 21 years I did it. I touched a boob. Comment 5. You need to leave this dude. He's taking advantage of you and letting his ego run wild. I've dated women who have gone through the same thing as you, and it still haunts them years later and is upsetting for me to hear. He is being a piece of crap human. You're better than that. Please run away from him as fast as possible. And now on to the update. I broke up with him 2 days after I posted. He asked me to talk, and I thought maybe if he genuinely apologized and promised to stop, we could give it another try. Instead, he kept insisting that all guys do this, and said I should be happy because he was just proud. I told him we were done, and he thought I was joking until I left. He's been texting me ever since, even using one of his friend's Instagram accounts to reach me. He's called me uptight, said we weren't even that serious, and admitted he knew what he was doing was wrong, but that it felt right because he didn't really love me. He's just been sending hurtful things in general. But we were serious. I'm not crazy. He asked me to be his girlfriend 5 months ago, and everyone around us knew we were in a serious relationship. Still, it hurts to know he never actually cared about me. One of his friends, or more like a friend of his, showed me how he'd been talking about me in their group chat for the past 2 months. He was describing me like I was some random hookup, not his girlfriend. He called me every name you can think of. His friends even asked him if he had nudes of me, and he didn't respond. He also didn't tell them to stop. Their entire chat was all about sex, and some of them were sharing details about their sex lives too. I feel horrible because everything he's shaming me for now, I did it out of love. I'm not easy, but he's making me feel like I am. I feel bad because I'm still young and got into a relationship with a guy who was clearly only in it for one thing. I shouldn't have let things go that far. The friend who showed me what my ex was saying seemed like a good guy, and I thanked him, but now I feel like he sees me the same way my ex does. He's been calling me every 2-3 hours since then, and has been flirty in his texts all morning. He wouldn't stop calling even after I told him I was at work. I don't know. Maybe it's just my ex's words messing with my head, but I'm feeling really uncomfortable. That's everything. And I'm sorry for the long, messy update. And now on to the comments. Comment 1. Block them all. The friend who showed you was hoping you'd break up and then you'd be his girl, and he would expect the same sex and kinky stuff. Don't have anything to do with him. You are so much better off away from those toxic man-child. It's more important that they brag to each other about what they do with their girls than treating their girls with privacy and decency. OP replied, I've been getting that feeling from him too. It's just frustrating because I thought he was genuinely helping me by showing me what my ex was saying. I'm so much better off without any of them in my life, though. Thank you. Comment 2. Disconnect from them all. They don't deserve you. And next time your ex reaches out, just say, if we weren't serious, then why do you keep messaging me? Move on and let go. Comment 3. He could have shut that shit down in the chat. He doesn't see anything wrong with the chat. He just wanted his chance to experience what your ex did. Absolutely creeps, the lot of them. I hope these 2 OPs have a better time in their future and can learn from this. What do you think about these 2 stories? Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.